Will you look at this beautiful day? March 9th, 2020. Yeah, it's still winter, but it's about 65 out. Unseasonably gorgeous today. Today's video is about how well my heated grips work. Now you might be wondering, why am I doing that on a 65-degree day? But when I rolled out this morning at 6:15, it was 37 degrees. Woo, yeah, nice and cold. Let's just say I would not have made it on this ride without the heated grips. Now, it seems like there's no perfect solution to cold hands on a motorcycle unless you've got a combination of things. I have battery operated heated gloves which aren't particularly strong, and the batteries have already reached their half-life. One thing that would really help is some kind of fairing or wind deflector over your grips, which I do not have and do not want to put on this bike. Then there is the handlebar muff, which you stick your hand in. I've tried that. Kind of dangerous. Wired heated gloves, which I have not tried, but then you're kind of tethered to the bike. And then finally, heated grips. So I think those are the main categories. And if you want to ride out in the cold for any extended period of time, you're going to need one or more for sure, because even the best pair of non-heated gloves only lasts so long. It just gets to a point where the cold and the wind hitting your glove, your body and the blood flowing through your hand just can't beat that back forever. And after a certain period of time, the hand loses and the fingers start going numb, which is a very bad thing on a motorcycle. So this morning, well, let me back up and say I've taken 2 rides with the heated grips so far, both for a little over an hour, and it was 42 degrees. And they were great. I had no issues, and that was with a nice pair of winter gloves. But this morning, being as it was 37 and I had like an hour and a half ride, I didn't want to have a bad morning. So I wore my battery-powered heated gloves as well as using the heated grips. And even then, I did have some issues with my thumb, because the thumb is kind of out there on the bottom of the bar. It's not really in close contact with the grip, and it's just taking the wind head on. So what I actually had to do was position my hand so that I could press my thumb up against the grip and protect it from the wind, and also let it absorb some of the heat. So I did need to do that after a little bit. But as the trip progressed and the temp got up around 41, 42, that was no longer an issue. I don't plan to ride in the 30s. Today was kind of an unusual day. I haven't ridden to work on my bike in 4 months, and I really wanted to. And I knew that if I could get in through that cold, that the ride home was going to be this glorious. So the thought of coming out of work tonight and getting in the car was just like, no, I will go through punishment this morning in order to ride my bike tonight. So I think most of the time 40 degrees and up will be my number, and I expect to do just fine with my grips and my gloves. If I was going to be riding extended periods of time in temps below 30, I mean, really, I think you should be looking at either a touring bike or some kind of wind deflector for your hands, because otherwise that frigid air hitting your hand at 65 and up, or even less actually, even 45 miles an hour, it just really penetrates the glove. It really does. So for long distances or lower temps, if you're going to be out there a lot, I would definitely look for something, some kind of wind deflector. Get your hand behind something. But if you're just looking for an hour here and there, then you can get by, without it. So I'm definitely a fan of the heated grips. The Harley heated grips in particular are really good. I mean, I got the Slipstream style, which matches the other controls on my bike, the pegs and stuff. The Harley has a whole bunch of styles, but they all pretty much use the same innards. And so this review is pretty much going to hold up for the line of Harley heated grips. The dial goes from 0 off to 6. And when I was out in the low 40s, I had it on 3 and needed to back it down some. I mean, it literally was that hot. And this morning, being, 37, I thought, well, I might really have to crank these things. But even then, man, having it on 3 was plenty of heat. And when I slowed down for a few miles through towns and stuff, I was like, wow, these handlebars are really hot. And I had to drop it down even more, just to be comfortable. So yeah, these things put out some serious heat. Unfortunately, just by nature of being a heated grip, it's only doing the palm side of your hand. Now granted, with blood flow and circulation, some of that heat's going to make its way around. But like I was saying, if you're doing speed out, with that frigid air hitting the back of your hand, that frigid air is going to win. So you're going to need something for that. But other than needing to get my thumb out of that blast of cold air for a bit, I was able to make it where I was going. And once the temperature hit like 42, then there wasn't any concern about that. So I think it's safe to say lower 40s and up, you can really do just fine with a good pair of gloves and Harley heated grips. So I absolutely recommend them. And if I get another bike someday and they don't have heated grips, that will be one of the first things that I do. As far as how they operate, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. Turn them on and they work. But there is actually something to mention here. They take about 3 minutes or so before you start feeling heat. So that's understandable. They gotta warm up. But the other thing I didn't think about until this morning, I left in the dark. And when I rolled out and then reached down to twist the grips on, I realized I can't see the thing. So I just kind of guesstimated where I was on the scale as I turned them up, and it turned out that I was correct and I had turned them up to 3, which is where I wanted to start. But if there was a little indicator light, that would be really cool. But that's pretty rare. That would be my only nitpick. So that's my quick review on heated grips. As for the rest of today, oh man, this is the first time I've been on my bike above 60 degrees. 5 months maybe? I mean, it's been a long time. So I am going to enjoy this ride. That's it for now. Until next time.